This is another Charlie video. She can't stop texting and driving.
Are you mad right now? Do you want to be? I saw a video today that was pretty infuriating.
That is very fast to not be having your eye on the fucking road.
This lady is behind the wheel of a rented vehicle from TURO. This is...
Oh, so it's not even her fucking car. Oh, what a lovely person. Talk about respect for other people's property, huh? Imagine mid-match running to the card vendor to buy the card you need. That would truly be where the credit card is the most powerful card in the game.
allegedly posted by the owner of that vehicle after, spoiler alert, she gets into an accident here and then tries to lie about what happened. This was posted in response to that to show what actually happened, and if you've got some keen peepers on you, the astute observers may have noticed she's texting while driving. But to be honest, I don't even think that's accurate to say because she is doing more texting than driving, so she's like
She's driving while texting.
occasionally splicing in some driving between her texts. It seems like she's in some kind of heated argument, and that is like her primary focus is sending these text messages while on the road. I'm sure I don't need to educate you on the dangers of texting while driving. I'm not the DMV. I'm also not your dad. I imagine most of you know that, and this is one of the most egregious examples of texting while driving I've ever seen. She could easily have just pulled over and sent those messages if it's that urgent, but instead she said, fuck it, we'll do it live, so she's doing it while
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
on the road, risking her life and the life of those around her. I guess she's really got places to be in those messages. That's like fucking utmost importance. If you're not first, you're last. If you're not pooping, you're shitting.
She just did that entire turn. Look.
If you're not first, you're last. If you're not pooping, you're shitting.
Okay. She begins moving. Eyes not on the road. She glances for a split second. She does almost an entire turn, not looking at the road. When you fuck around, you find out. And this bitch just done found out. What the fuck was that? You know, that was the sound of consequences colliding with actions. Let's hear that again. That's what happens when consequences hit actions.
Even while her car is veering off the road and blasting a mailbox, she is firmly grasping that phone. She is
So dedicated to the text. You know, I drive a lot. And I never do this shit. You know, if I gotta fucking text something, I pull over and I text it and then I get back on the road. Or I use CarPlay and talk what I have to speak, I guess, what I have to text. And Siri puts it out onto the text message for me.
ripping the shit out of that. She still will not set it down in the act of crashing this vehicle. She treated that phone like it was the fucking Tesseract there. She was not parting with it. It's not until it is finally stopped that she sets the phone down and then puts her head in her hands and then immediately picks the phone back up after like 3 seconds. It's like she can't be separated from it. It's her fucking umbilical cord. It's unreal. It's actually a miracle she didn't just have a head-on collision here. I counted too. She looked up from her phone only 5 times in the amount of time that she spent on that single lane there. So she spent the vast majority of her time there behind the wheel looking at the phone, glued to it. In fact, she even double fisted the phone at one point to get two thumb action in there. No hands on the
She double fisted it to get to thumb
wheel,
action.
not looking up at the road. It is actually an act of God that she didn't kill herself or somebody else there. Just an
Yeah, I think we found Jack Doherty's future ex-wife.
unsuspecting, innocent car that she could have easily veered to the left instead of the right and just hit with a head on collision, which would have potentially been fatal. Also, her squeals that she lets out, oh man, that is ear piercing. And then she has like that full blown, like, angry middle aged mom scream after it like comes to a stop. And then it's entirely her fault. Apparently, again, the story is she's like a nurse practitioner and lied to the
She's a medical professional. She's a medical professional, ladies and gentlemen.
TURO owner here of this vehicle about what happened and why the car got crashed. I haven't seen too many details on all of that, but it's entirely her fault. You can see here in the footage, she is texting the vast majority of the time that she spends on the road. And I imagine this isn't an isolated incident. This is probably how she goes about her daily commutes. You can tell people till the cows come home how dangerous and bad it is to text and drive, but then you're still going to have people like this doing it. And it's actually, to me, it seems like becoming more common. Like, I know there was like even a trend a little while ago for streamers to do like car streams, and in some of them, they were just texting and reading the chat while
Jack Doherty! Fucking Jack Doherty!
driving, like while being filmed doing it. So it seems like people don't really grasp how important it is to not drive distracted. But anyway, this is probably the most egregious example of it that I've seen. This is unhinged. It's like she totally forgot she was operating a motor vehicle.
That is true. It's a very generous usage of the word professional. She's in healthcare.
She was so engrossed in her phone. That took priority over everyone's lives around her and her own life. Now, I don't know what the outcome of all of this was. There's not a ton of information I can find on it, other than, like, she's apparently a nurse practitioner and apparently lied about how the car got crashed. But the owner of the vehicle had the interior facing dash cam as well as the other dash cam. People were debating if that's even legal to have, like, a rented car with an interior facing dash cam. I looked it up. It is.
It's a fucking smart decision because otherwise it would have been her word that she quote unquote just crashed. And Turo is not where you go to rent a fucking Ford Focus. When you go on Turo, you're renting, I don't want to say exotic cars, but unusual cars. If you wanted to rent a Tesla Cybertruck, you would go on Turo. If you wanted to rent a Ford Raptor, you would go on Turo, right? Enterprise might have a regular F-150, but Turo will have the Raptor, which is like the high-speed version of the F-150. So Turo is not just your average Saiyan rent-a-car place. It's a Super Saiyan rent-a-car place.
You just need to disclose to the renter that it's there, which I imagine is part of like the signed contract between them or something. I've never used Turo. I'm not super familiar with it, but it seems like the owner is well within the right to do that, and I could definitely see why. But
I know because I have window shopped renting my dream car. Well, the 2024 version of my dream car on Turo, and it'd be nice to drive a Corvette for a week.
people that are renting their car out might want that as like a bit of a security measure here, as this case.
And that's another thing. Turo, you're not renting cars from a company like Enterprise or Budget or I used to know the other one's name. Rent-a-cars. You're renting from private owners, and these people rent out their cars on Turo and make money because I mean, if you've got a Tesla Cybertruck, people are gonna want to ride in it. You might as well charge them for that shit.
Beautifully illustrates where your car gets wrecked and then all of a sudden the person that was driving it starts farting out a fairy tale about how it's not their fault, and then you've got no evidence that it was their fault, so now you're stuck with your dick in your hand and you're going to have to pay for that most likely. So I can see why you would want that there, and in this case it probably saved them a huge headache because they can instantly point to this as her fault, because it is her fault. Entirely her fault. Anyway though, enough blabbering about it from me today. A little PSA for you. Don't text and drive. That's really about it. See ya.